Hello, and welcome to my weekly update. This past week hasn't been too bad symptom-wise. I had a few things go kind of haywire, but for the most part, I've been spending a lot of time and energy into continuing to exercise and to get stronger, both physically and mentally. I've been through a lot in my life. I've had a lot of trauma, and regardless as to whether I'm conscious of it or not, I think that those the events and the traumatic things that I survived have definitely shaped me as a person. I think that it's easy for me to become scared with everything that I've been through, but the funny thing is I don't ever recognize that as fear anymore. The way that I process and experience fear has changed dramatically throughout the course of treatment for both my head injuries and various other medical conditions, especially the concussions. That in particular was pretty bad. While concussed, I frequently, on a regular basis, would from very minor things, so very little stimuli, would send me straight up to fight or flight. And that fight or flight is way up here where, it's usually reserved for kind of life or death situations. And I just experienced that regularly. It led to daily panic attacks and being diagnosed with an anxiety disorder. The problem was that the anxiety and the panic attacks could absolutely, medication and supplementation didn't touch it. Like, not even a little bit. Like, it just was untouchable. Meditation and mindfulness, I'm big on meditation. I meditate almost daily. I'm not going to say I do it daily because I haven't done it yet today, but you know what I mean. It is part of my my routine is to meditate. And so I'm a big believer in it. But when it comes to the kind of brain damage that I had, I hate to say this, but the impact was kind of minimal. It was great, the meditation and mindfulness, when you were between freakouts, to kind of, gear you back down, maybe get you closer to baseline, something, it just helps a little bit. But then you'd stop and some minor detail would come into your life and it would just destroy that piece that you had. It's like so many other things and symptoms of traumatic brain injury are just straight up wiring issues. And this is definitely one of those things. And when you've lived a certain way for any given length of time, like for me, it's over a decade of living concussed, those pathways, they get worn in really, really deep. So I'm going to be focusing on rewiring my brain so that I'm better adapted to be here and productive, and that's something I've been really focusing on and getting stronger, and finally, after almost 20 years, trying to move on from this. And I think this rewire part is a really big part of my puzzle, because you got the same people, same places, same results, same behavior, same results. It's always the same. So I've got to start changing something in me internally. Waking up from brain damage has its own unique set of problems, and this one's painful for me. When I was living concussed, I had zero, absolutely nada, when it came into the self-awareness department. So that means things like tone of voice, behavioral patterns, emotional responses were all vastly varied. There was no consistency. There was also no reason, because the brain was not running like it should. And now I'm starting to regain some of that self-awareness, and it is painful, and it is eye-opening to wake up and you learn that you've been living like a stranger for 20 years, and your behavior doesn't align with your values or your how you would like yourself to come across. Is freaking painful. I keep lying to myself, and maybe this isn't a lie and I just haven't bought into my own BS yet. But I keep telling myself that, oh, this growth is wonderful. That means you're gonna have rebirth and growth, and the pain is good. Pain, not growth. Sorry. But I haven't totally bought into my own stuff yet. So it's still kind of a painful process. You realize things about yourself that you would, rather not behave that way. So I'm working on changing a lot of things, but anyway, I thought I would share that. Next is weight loss progress. I'm continuing to lose weight, and I'm currently at 130.6 pounds. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. And I'm really curious to see kind of where I level off at, because I started kind of holding on to extra weight right around, or actually right after the concussions. It became really difficult to keep weight off. And I always figured, or at least now, I figured it was from a few different things. The hormone imbalances that I had, which I think were immediate after the concussions. I think that was immediate. When I woke up, I had issues. I really do. I do believe that. Next is the vast cornucopia of pharmaceuticals I was put on because I was misdiagnosed as bipolar 2. So those psychiatric drugs, they're not fun, and they make you gain weight. And it can be really difficult to lose weight. And then finally, my sedentary lifestyle. When you hit a guardrail going 60 and you screw up your spine, you're not exercising for a while. Oh no. You're gonna have to learn to re-walk properly and to carry yourself properly. Posture, all of it has to be relearned. So that sedentary lifestyle definitely didn't help. Next, where I am with programs. And I am still right here. And I will probably be here for a long time. Rapid parasite release is still an ongoing process. I'm still making tons of progress, and I'm always amazed at the next, whenever I level up, it's like more brain fog will clear, and I'm like, yes, I'm almost done. And then I keep going, and I find out that no, I'm not even close to done. I gotta look at it this way. I gotta say to myself, on the other side of all of this is this amazing life that you couldn't even begin to imagine. So I try to, sell myself that line so that I don't get frustrated. It's working. Also, let's see what else is improved. My stomach is continuing to kind of deflate and depuffify, which is fantastic. And I'm also still experiencing decreases in pain, which thank God, because I've been in pain every single day of my life from the point that I hit that guardrail. So I'm very grateful for that. And one of the things that I've learned, not only from rapid parasite release, but also rapid gut reset, and to be totally honest with you, this whole cluster of programs, and I learned a lot here too. Also, mitochondria and drainage jumpstart program. These are all things that are not being currently addressed in the conventional medical system at all. And it amazes me, because as I've moved through these programs, I realized just how important all of these things are to like every minute of your existence. I've learned, especially with the parasite stuff, that parasites were responsible for a large bulk of my symptoms. And what makes it tricky is that symptoms from parasites can be really kind of nebulous, It's very easy to have that misdiagnosed as something else, especially when the testing that is for parasites is so faulty to begin with, or just not very thorough. Because the test that I had for parasites, I know at least one, it came back negative. And then now I've 6 months in, and I'm doing parasite stuff for 6 months. Don't even get me started. It's not right. Anyway, I think that's it for this week. I'll see you next. Thank you.